Tony DeWitt here, Missouri appellate attorney and a guy who likes to make the law make sense on YouTube. Today I'm inviting you along as I have a one-to-one talk with Bob Iger at Disney World. Now, he isn't going to appear, right? I'm just telling you what I would tell him if he asked me about what exactly is the problem with Disney World. So stick around, this could be interesting. One sure sign of the hit that our economy has taken from inflation and government spending is the fact that people who would ordinarily go on vacation are saving that money and they are not going on vacation. Or if they're going on vacation, they are doing it in ways that make the most sense and perhaps cost the least amount of money. Now, interestingly enough, census figures indicate that this particular last 6 months has been the best 6 months that Florida has seen in terms of tourism. Lots of people want to go to Florida, but a lot of those people are not going to Disney. A lot of them are going to the theme parks in Tampa. A lot of them are going to the theme park at Universal Studios and SeaWorld, places like that. And as a result, the attendance at the Disney parks is way down, and Disney has initiated this 4-day park ticket that you can buy where it's basically $99 a day if you're outside of Florida and $58 a day if you're a Florida resident to go to this park for 4 days. Each day is $58 for a Florida resident. Each day is $99 for an other than Florida resident. And as a result of that, they're trying to get people into the parks. And park reservations that in the past have been very difficult to come by, even during the week, are now open across the board. So that begs the question of what exactly is going wrong at Disney. And I have a few thoughts on that I want to share, because I think that if Bob Iger really understood what it is that he's offering and what his company has been doing, he might stop and rethink his approach. They need to do something about the pricing. Now, this $99 pricing that they're offering now, I think that is an excellent first start. But there are a couple of other things that they need to do. One of the other things that they need to do is stop this ridiculous reservation system where you have to have a park reservation to get in. If you buy a ticket, you ought to be able to go to the park. Now, if they want to limit the number of tickets per day and make it so that you have to buy tickets, 3 months in advance in order to get in, I think that is a better approach than saying you can buy a ticket anytime, but you can only come when we say you can come. That's putting the cart in front of the horse, and I think it's a very bad move, at least from a guest relations point of view. And then the next thing they need to do is they need to start making the experience once somebody gets to Disney a lot more affordable. The prices at the resorts, in other words, the hotels that are Disney-owned, are outrageous. Some of them are $400 a night, some of them are $500 a night, and some of them are $600 a night. And that doesn't even include the ridiculous Galactic Star Cruiser that they had to shut down because it was upwards of $4,000 a night. So one of the things they could do almost immediately is reduce or package some of those hotel stays in a way that reduced the amount of money people had to spend after they got there for lodging. Now, there are a lot of places out in the community where you could stay for a lot less than you stay at Disney. I think the Embassy Suites, it was like $150 a night for us when we went down there several months ago. And that's not a bad deal. But when you sign up to go to the Fort Wilderness cabins, the Fort Wilderness cabins are $461 a night. That's a lot of money. And there's really not a lot of value in that $461 that you're paying. And so, at least from my perspective, that would seem to me to be a real thing that they could do that would boost attendance and would make things much better. Now, why do I say that? Because the $461 that you pay for a night at the wilderness campground, or not campground, but the wilderness cabins, you get what amounts to a very small trailer-sized accommodation. It has a living room. It has a sort of a little kitchen. It has a bathroom, and it has a bedroom. Now, it has a bed that you can pull out in the living room. So, a family of 4 would be reasonably accommodated inside this cabin, but it's small. It's old. They have been there forever. And for the most part, they are not well maintained, and they come off as just being, I hate to say this, but unkempt and dirty. And nobody wants to go and basically spend $400 a night to stay in a flop house. And that's kind of what you do when you go to those cabins. Now, some of the other places like Saratoga Springs, you can go there. It's a really wonderful resort, $600 a night. Nobody wants to pay $600 a night for staying on property. Now, the reason people stay on property is there are certain benefits that you get by virtue of staying on property. For example, you may be able to get into the park earlier or stay later. But the real issue, at least from my perspective, is that even if you get those extra benefits, they do not equate to the difference between paying $150 a night at some place like a Hilton Embassy Suites and $600 a night at Saratoga Springs. And yes, there are other value-related resorts that you can go to where you don't pay that much. But again, sometimes those are not well maintained either. We stayed once at Coronado Springs, which is a value resort, and we had worms crawling up the side of the wall inside our room. And that was pretty disgusting, at least from our point of view. So one of the things that they could do is lower these prices, and the second thing they can do is upgrade and maintain the properties that they have and offer some real value in terms of the restaurants. The restaurants, for the adults, you're going to usually pay $60 a person per meal. For the kids, it's less than that. We don't have kids, we have grandkids, but it's been a while since I bought them a meal in Disney. And at any rate, the prices are significant. And because those prices are significant, those are the things that are driving people away from Disney. Now here's a good example of that. This is a restaurant called Victoria and Albert's at Disney World. I think it's probably the most expensive restaurant you could eat at Disney World. It's probably the most expensive restaurant you could eat at in Florida. Look at these prices. And $425 for one meal, $200 for a wine pairing, that's just absolutely insane. All of those things I think are important for Disney, and I think they have been ignored by Disney management. Now, I think there are I'm a big Disney fan. I like going to the parks. We usually don't go in the summer because it's, well, to be frank, it's just really, really hot in Orlando. It's, Kilauea doesn't get as hot as Orlando does in the summer. And it's can be a really miserable experience if you have any problems with maintaining your body temperature when it's hot. And so you're already going to have more of a younger crowd coming at that time than, fossils like me. But I do think that, again, one of the things that if you really want to improve the attendance at the parks, you need to make it more affordable. Everybody is being squeezed by inflation. And sometimes you have to step up and take a little less profit in order to get additional volume. It's just a matter of how much you are going to gouge the people who come to your parks. And right now, the gouge is awful. What you pay for a soda and like a 20-ounce bottle of Coke at the parks, I believe it's now $5 for one of those, when you can go into any Quick Trip or Circle K or almost any other convenience store, 7-Eleven, and pay between $1.75 and $2.25 for that same bottle. Disney is not paying more for that product than those other places. It's just marking it up 4 or 5 times higher because it can. There are a lot of things that you can do that you should not do. And the tale of the golden goose is appropriate here, because the parks have always been where Disney generated millions upon millions of dollars every year in profit. And the parks have become increasingly more expensive, and you would expect that over time. But the more recent changes at the parks, where they've throttled park attendance and jacked up the prices on things like lodging and food, that does not sit well with your average American. You get the picture, right? When you gouge people, it leaves a very bad taste in their mouth. And you're not only killing off the people who are coming this year, you're ensuring that people who do come this year and get gouged aren't coming back next year or the year after, or maybe for the next 5 or 10 years until you get your act together. So that's what I would tell Bob Iger if I was sitting down across the table from him. I would tell him that if you operate a family-themed park, then you have to make it affordable for a family to come. The average, I should say, median income in America is about $72,000 a year. By the time you take out taxes and everything out, you have about between $300 and $500 every month that is disposable, discretionary income. And if you take that and you save that up for a couple of years to get ready to go on vacation at a place like Disney, and then when you get there, even that isn't enough to pay the freight, well, you've got a problem in marketing that is going to affect you long term. Somebody needs to take a really good, hard look at where Disney is going and where it wants to be. Because right now, they are not making the grade, and I think that is sad. It would be a great tragedy to destroy what Walt Disney built out of nothing. That's what I have for good Mr. Iger and for Disney. That's what I have for you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and by the way, I will be going down there from the 18th through the 25th. We'll be going down there with family for vacation. And I will report back on what we find when I get back, but there might be a slight delay in some of the videos during that week. So thanks again for watching. If you have the opportunity today, do something kind. Maybe offer some advice to Disney about how to do better. God bless you all, and I'll see you next time. If you like this video, here are a few others you might try, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a terrific day, guys.